So now we are back to Willy, and Willy is going to show us how the Rangers use Power BI integration with application insights in order to get some fine dashboards or some kind of extra data. And what is the motivation to use Power BI and not using the dashboards on the portal itself? Willy?
Right, so I think let's first explain why we even looked at Power BI. We've looked at the dashboard and application insights, and we saw that for the Rangers, we created a AI resource per extension. Now you can imagine as the extensions grow and we have more and more extensions, we're going to have more and more of those resources. And if somebody wants to have an aggregated view, he needs to drill into each and every one of those resources, which can become tedious and error prone.
It works for one or two, right?
It
but
works for one or
20
two,
fix.
20 plus, you're doing a machine's job. And this is really where we started looking at alternatives. And at the time, Neil Zeeman, which is one of our Rangers in South Africa, was actually experimenting with Power BI. And I mentioned it to him and I said, it would be so cool if we could have an aggregated view of all our extensions. And what happened? He actually created a Power BI dashboard for us. And I think let's just have a quick squiz of where it came from.
Okay.
Because I don't like the rabbits kind of jumping out of the hat. So if we go back to our dashboard, so this is our dashboard again. Remember the folder management extension. So I'll quickly drill into some of the data there. We go back to usage. Look at a custom event. I'll just take off those two filters so we can see all of them. Now imagine if I had to do this for every extension, i.e. to look at custom events, it would be tedious. Do you agree?
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun for a while, but now once we have this view, we suddenly see something that I think you discussed with Bill in the previous lesson, which is analytics. So I guess what happens if I go into analytics?
So it open analytics with the same query that gave you the data in the portal.
Yes,
so you don't have to do it manually.
No, you don't have to write it manually. You could, and you can obviously also optimize this query. But what I'm trying to show is that by going to the application insights dashboard, to an extension, to a query, and selecting your analytics, it gives you the query that it uses, and it obviously also gives you the result set. But more importantly, it also has this export feature, and I can export this query to a Power BI query format. So I'll quickly open this. Now, as good developers, I mean, you as most of us are good developers, you all know select all and copy. Because once we've done that, we can then go over to Power BI.
Okay.
And this is now Power BI. So before we actually look at what all of this means, I'm only going to go to Home. I'm going to go to Edit Queries. And
so this is Power BI Desktop,
Yeah,
right?
this is now the Power BI Desktop. And obviously this is already the dashboard, but I just want to show you where all this data came from. Now, we looked at folder management, custom events, folders created. There we go. And if I go to Advanced Editor, guess where this query came from? Now, Neil did not write this by hand. We basically used the export in the Application Insights dashboard.
So he cheated.
No, we
used the facilities that are there.
We use the tools. That's why it has an export feature. But we copy and we paste here. And what you end up with, so now that we know where the rabbit came from, we end up with this dashboard. And basically what we have achieved with this dashboard is an aggregated view of all our extensions. So what you can see here is this is a usage map. And basically it just shows you what is the usage across the world. And we can obviously see that North America is one of the busiest places in terms of all our extensions. So this is an aggregated view of all our extensions in terms of usage. We have another one in terms of maps, in terms of errors. And as you can see, we have an anomaly which we really need to actually look into, because the error count in India is far higher than its usage. There's something is wrong, which is probably where we need to go back to build session and actually start drilling into the data to find out what is
why
this
there
anomaly
is such
all
an
about.
anomaly, right?
But this is what we were looking for, is to get a visual view of all the extensions using the application insights data. So as you'll also see, there's a folder management tab, and this is the data that came out of application insights. You could compare this back to the application insights dashboard, and you'll see it's the same data. There were no errors reported, which is a good thing. And this team, for some reason, wanted to know which type of folders are created in which region, giving us this very nice colorful chart. So again, this is interesting for the team because they're interested in custom events. I'm interested in the usage. So this is kind of the top graph is usually the view that I'm looking at. I'm interested in, is the extension usage increasing or decreasing or just kind of staying consistent? And then, yeah, as you'd expect, we have one per extension. And the advantage with this is I can now go into this Power BI dashboard and I can look at each extension without having to drill into each and every one.
And since it's Power BI, you can send it by email, or you can embed it on a web page if you want it, and stuff like that. So,
and we use this.
And this is real live data. So
this is real live data.
It's not something that you export it and do manual process in order to get it. Just real live data. If you do a refresh, it's updated, right? So
yes, obviously what you need to do once in a while is refresh the data.
Yeah.
Because what I also typically do when I actually detect a pattern or an error that I think the team should investigate, I send them an email with this report attached.
Okay, so because you are using only the desktop, not the browser-based portal,
yes,
that Power BI that get to the level. Okay, so that's a very nice use of Power BI. There is an even easier way. For example, if you export the data using in Power BI, you can export it directly from application insights, and you will create a dashboard. Not with this kind of data, but with a regular kind of pre-made dashboard that you can customize it then for your needs, for the usage, the countries, and stuff like that. That's available also out of the box. You just need to get the data to install via the analytics into Power BI. It's very, very easy. It's a little easier than that, but will not give a customized view like you have done. So you have done a middle ground. So easy to do, but not as easy as just clicking and getting the canned pre-report, right?
Yeah, and you can obviously take this a lot further. Like I've seen Power BI reports that are a lot scarier than this in terms of the amount of data and kind of visuals it presents. I mean, the world's your oyster.
Yeah, but it saves you a lot of time doing, saving you from manual.
This gives me the information I need from a higher level to see, or just to have a feel of, are we doing okay, or is there kind of a problem we should be investigating? And as we already pointed out, this is definitely something we need to investigate. Why is the error count so high in India? And if you just see the error count's high, but it doesn't correspond to the usage.
Yeah.
So something is wrong.
Let's say it's internet. It's always the internet's fault, right? It's the network. Okay, Willie, thank you. So we have seen how the rangers are using Power BI in order to avoid tedious work. So they no longer go to manual to the portal to see all the dashboards one by one, to see how the extensions are faring in terms of errors, in terms of usage. But now they have everything aggregated, and they can see all the extensions in a single point, and they also have dashboards to see single extensions individually if needed. But the aggregated view typically is enough to give them a sense of usage and errors as a global usage from all the extensions.